Hey y'all, it's Amber Calderon. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm introducing a new series, which is monthly plan content with me. I talk so much about content marketing, content strategy, how to recycle your content ideas, and I've never actually walked through how to do it. So in today's video, I am planning for the month of April. Right now, this video is being filmed in the last week of March, and I'm looking at all of the different things that I have to get done for the marketing membership, projects that I've already slated, and figure out what is a necessity and what can I just throw out. If you've been following my journey since the beginning, you know that I worked for Nearpod and Flocabulary for about 5 years, and I grew their social media influencer marketing and content strategy. During that time, I came up with so many different ways to test what's the best way to recycle all this content. I try to take a lot of those same learnings that I created when I was working for them into my own content strategy. There's a few things that I take into account whenever I'm thinking about my content. Disclaimer, you don't have to follow this exact formula. I hope this serves as inspiration for you to get your gears turning when it comes to creating your own content strategy. I hope it inspires you to accelerate your content marketing. And if you have any questions, I am always here and down to answer questions in the comments. The first thing I take into account is holidays. What are the major holidays that are happening in that particular month? Do I have any resources or key topics that I can weave myself into the narrative to make myself relevant? An example of that would be in the month of May is Teacher Appreciation. If I just completely forgot that existed, then I could miss out on creating a really beautiful campaign to support teachers during that time. In this particular time, it's spring, and I keep pushing off my spring cleaning checklist. I have not promoted it to my audience yet. It drove in hundreds of leads last year and the year prior, and I just haven't shared it. And my goal is to update the resource. I keep pushing it off. So taking this time to actually plan reminds me of, Amber, why haven't you done this? If you are looking at the numbers and you know it's driving leads, what's holding you back? And these are very important questions to ask us. Why are we making time for other things and not others? And when we are making time and swapping for those other things, is it actually moving the needle? Because if it's not, what are we doing? What are we doing? Trust me, it's so easy to squirrel into the wrong thing. If you're curious how I plan, I do my quarterly planning in Airtable. I list out what are my big quarterly goals. And if you don't know what quarterly goals is, it's breaking the year apart into every 3 months. The first thing I said I look at is what are the major holidays. I have a spreadsheet that I look at. It's included in Teacher Marketing Academy, and it's always updated. And it has all of the major holidays that are happening in April, as well as themed ideas. So I'm looking at April, and I can see there's like Earth Day. I sell an Earth Day resource on TPT. If you do, then you want to make sure you buffer in time to share that. That also reminds me that I need to look at my account. I need to write something for Earth Day. Earth Day is the 22nd, so I'm going to add it on my social calendar list. I have one that's all the content that I need to create, and then this one helps me plan out my affiliate links, what older blog posts do I want to recycle, what new blog posts do I want to share, and I basically keep it like a checklist, because if I say, I'm gonna post this on this day, I'm just not gonna remember. I have a dump of all of the random things to make sure that I'm doing. I want to make sure I remember to share my Poshmark account. I want to make sure I remember to share Trixie's Farmer's Dog. And so seriously, I will write down Farmer's Dog. It's also Financial Literacy Month, it's Poetry Month, spring themed resources are great around this time, and then sustainable Amazon faves, sustainable fashion, spring cleaning your home, spring cleaning your closet. So I might actually love to post my Poshmark stuff a little more this month, because I want to talk about sustainable purchasing as opposed to always buying from fast fashion. The first thing I do is I look at the holidays. What are things that I can make myself relevant? And then the second thing I ask myself is I look at my quarterly goals. What are my goals for this quarter? I need to create content that supports those type of goals. For example, I need to drive more leads. I need to drive more people to Teacher Marketing Academy. I need to make sure that I'm bringing people into my courses, bringing people into my membership, and that's why also I'm showing up on YouTube, because I have found through the data that people sign up for my Teacher Marketing course more because they found me on YouTube. And it's probably because you can see my personality, and you're like, wait, I do want to work with her. All that to say, make sure you're looking at your data so you can make sure you're investing where it makes the most sense. you know? The second thing is I'm looking at what are the major initiatives and campaigns that I have going on. Okay, so my big one this month has to be spring cleaning checklist. I have to make sure I post my spring cleaning checklist. So I'm going to star that. I'm looking at my affiliate links to share. Product mock-up items, recording faves, Farmer's Dog, Poshmark. I pull up older blog posts that are relevant to the month because I want to make sure that I share them. I'm also looking at what YouTube videos do I want to create. I swapped this YouTube video for another video I was going to create this month, and it's using script to edit your videos. I seriously don't know how I have been able to edit videos without Descript. Descript is AI video editing. I can drop the files into this platform and it turns every single word I say into a transcription. And then instead of editing like normal where you have to like cut the words, figure out where the words are, when I just delete a word, it's completely gone. It's amazing. So I'm going to do a deep dive into that in the next video. I also want to make sure that I'm promoting Kajabi. Kajabi is where I host my exclusive podcasts, my membership, my courses, my email marketing, my website, literally everything I do is on Kajabi. And I feel like it is such a powerful way for you to streamline your tech stack into one platform. Instead of paying for this piece of tech and this piece of tech and this piece of tech all over, I have one price for everything that I need. I want to go into a deep dive on Kajabi on YouTube because I haven't yet. Because that also funnels up to my goals, I want to make sure I carve out content for that. Now, those two are two original pieces of content. I haven't created any content about Descript yet, and I have not created a YouTube video about only being on TPT. However, the only being on TPT in Kajabi is recycled content from 5 blog posts that I have on my website about Kajabi. So I'm taking that content and I'm going to recycle it into YouTube. The next 2 YouTube videos I'm going to make are copywriting tips and 5 ways to recycle content. Those are 2 blog posts that I've already written. The script is pretty much done, and I'm just going to regurgitate it onto YouTube. We naturally assume that if somebody's watching our YouTube video, they're also following us on Instagram, and they're also reading our blog. And the thing is, you're watching me on Instagram because this is one of your preferred platforms to watch me on. You probably don't want to read my blog post, but I still want to give you that amazing content, so I'm going to give it to you in the medium that you prefer. Don't be afraid to recycle content. The next thing I have been doing is I have been working really hard on my Teachers Pay Teachers store in the past few months. And while I've noticed that other people are down on their sales, since I have been working really hard using the same strategies that I've been sharing with you on my TPT store, I've already exceeded March of last year. I want to do a deep dive on, as a veteran TPT seller, I've been selling since 2013 or 2014. I've hit 2 milestones in 2 years. I've had months where I've made $10,000, $9,000, all that fun stuff. So I can say that I know how to sell successfully on TPT. I took a break because obviously helping grow Nearpod and Flowcabulary from a startup all the way to an acquisition takes a lot of time. I now have time to work on it again, and I want to document my journey on doing that with you. So expect more TPT specific resources as well. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. The last thing that I plan for is my marketing membership, which is called Teacher Marketing Society. Teacher Marketing Society has been my dream for so long. I'm sure you feel this way sometimes as well. You're giving away all this content and you're sharing and you're sharing and you're sharing. I want to build community with the people that are watching my content. I really want, like when I say ask your question, I want to help, I truly mean it. And I have people that will send me like messages and I will voice note them a 5-minute strategy, giving them tips on what they can do or things that they could think about to move forward in their business. Teacher Marketing Society is a way for me to have an even deeper relationship with teachers and really help them see what they're trying to do through the finish line. That to say, I give a lot of content in Teacher Marketing Society. With Teacher Marketing Society, and I'm sharing this because I need to actually plan it, not to promote it. The earlier part was the promotion, is I give a weekly podcast. I give one pretty much 30-minute deep dive training onto a topic. And then I also have live co-working sessions, Q&A, and planning. So April is all about email marketing because I have already redone the Email Marketing Essentials course. And so a lot of that is fresh much on my mind. I can help people get their email set up before summer. The training that I'm going to give them is copywriting tips, because every TPT email looks the exact same because I feel like we're copying each other. And I love email marketing copywriting because it is such an art, and thankfully because of my history in ed tech, I have been able to really learn the research of what works. Like, I wrote a cold email that got a company a 6-figure deal. So when I say I'm a strong copywriter, I have the data to back it up. You know, like, just saying. I'm gonna give that to the writers, so I need to prep that at some point. I'm also going to do a bonus training about sales funnels, just because I feel like the audience there probably needs a little bit more. And then I have some downloads that I'm going to give them that I've kind of already half baked. I'm looking at resources that I already have, and I'm figuring out how can I make them different, how can I tweak them, how can I add to them so then it's helpful for that audience. So there's that. Is it kind of exhausting? I think I went off on a tangent, so let's recap for a second. When I decide what I'm going to post, I look at holidays and teacher sentiment. So holidays, what are big events that are happening that I can make myself relevant during that time? 2, how are teachers feeling during this time? What is the mindset of the teacher? Because that's going to affect the copy and the way that I talk to the teacher. For example, when they're deep in the trenches during testing season, do you think I'm going to have the same type of messaging as during back to school? Absolutely not, because it's going to come off tone deaf. So I really think about that time of year and how to position my resources, the things I'm talking about, in a way that doesn't feel the energy shift. Does that even make sense? The third thing that I look at is my data. I look at this time last year. What content did I post? What resonated? What didn't resonate? So in that particular aspect, I'm looking at my Instagram posts, I'm looking at my YouTube content, and then separately, I look at my Google Analytics for my website. What blog posts were getting pinged around this time? What were people searching for? And then I look in the past week. What content have I seen a spike in the last couple of days? And are those blog posts updated? Do those have a freebie? Do those have a paid product that have not been connected to yet? And then I look at that and I build it into my plan. Here's the thing. You're hearing me say a lot of like, and then I do this, and then I do that. When I decide I need to update this one blog post, well, guess what? If I need to take something off because that is a higher priority, then I'm going to do that. I just noticed that my blog post about how to differentiate your spelling test has seen an increase in traffic. I also noticed that the product in the blog post is a product that needs a major update, and the whole page looks ridiculous. I look and see what else I have, and I decide, is everything cohesive? For example, my newsletter topics are all about the content that I'm creating that week. My first week of April, my newsletter is going to be about sticking to the plan and how to make sure that you stay consistent with planning. I'm going to promote my planning templates. I'm going to promote this video. I'm going to turn this video into a blog post. And so that is just the topic, synthesizing all of the information. Notice what I did. I took all of my content and I figured out how can I just recycle it into another channel. Does it mean that I'm going to get every single thing done? No. What I have to do now is I take a look at this, I look at my goals, and I make sure, does everything funnel up to the goal? If it doesn't, then it comes off. So this is a very early planning stage of at least coming up with the themes. Do I think that the content that I've created is fully thematic? No. I think it needs a ton of work. This whole month should be like one campaign. And I could actually talk about that even in more detail from my time at Nearpod and Vocabulary. However, we will be theming this in the next month. Again, this is my V1 to get to a V2, and I'm not offended about it. This is the best that I can do right now. We're not gonna beat ourselves up about it. And that's how I plan my monthly content for April. The reason why I start with all of the bigger long form content is because it's easier to repurpose down than it is to repurpose up. So I don't like to start with social media first because it's easy to take this really long YouTube video and truncate it for social media. It's easy to take this video and repurpose it into a blog format as opposed to really small snippets on social and then building out something heavy from there. So that's why I like to start with the longer form content and all of the non-negotiables first, and then I look at social second, which could be its own separate video. I'm gonna link everything I mentioned down below. Thanks so much for planning April content with me. I can't wait for you to watch all of this content that we just planned together. See you in the next one. Bye, y'all.